You're looking at a girl that was once publicly silent for a decade. But obviously, that has changed. My self-esteem was something I kept on trying to rebuild day by day. And let me just tell you, it wasn't easy. Social media and society were two things that were pushing me back from my capabilities. And at one point in my life, I felt like social media and society were like my enemies. But after experiencing many difficult experiences in life, I finally became the person I was meant to be. It wasn't an easy process to be myself again, but I hope that my story inspires you as well. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sarayu Chityala, and I'm 15 years old, and I go to Borough Secondary School here in Markham. Now, at the beginning of my talk, I've mentioned how social media and society were like my enemies. But after stepping into myself and realizing who I really was, I realized that there's no other enemy in your life except for yourself. Usually, we ignore ourselves, and we fall into the wrong path, and sometimes that can be very hard to overcome. But in my life, this was where social media fell into place. When I was in grade 6 and I moved to Markham, my whole world flipped around. The cultures were different, the environment was different, the people were different, and most importantly, the way people treated me was very different. When it came to society's perception of beauty, I wasn't the most attractive girl. But although people did make rude comments about the way I looked and who I was, as a 12-year-old, I didn't really take that to heart because at that time, I didn't know what beauty was. I didn't know how to be perfect and I didn't know how to look perfect. But something that was affecting me at that time was popularity. Now, when I say popularity, I don't just mean going into the movie industry and being an actress or going into the pop industry and getting a pop artist. No. When I say popularity, I mean popularity at school, where everyone knows you and everyone likes you. You're known as that most perfect, intelligent, athletic, just smart, and everyone just wants to be like you. But feeling the lack of what I wanted at that time led me to social media. Now, this was where I guess the difficulties and the learning points of my life had begun. I was never bullied in my life, and nor did I experience bullying around me. But you could say that I have bullied one person in my life, and that is myself. Yes, I acted and treated myself the way society wanted to see me, but not who I really wanted to be. When I realized that I wanted to be popular at school, the internet was the only place I found to express who I really was. It all started when I first had Facebook. To this day, I still remember the day when I opened my Facebook account and I literally requested every single person that I knew and people that I even didn't know to accept my request. I messaged people saying, hey, hello, what's up, how are you? And eventually, as days went on, my attempt on social media was failing, and my self-esteem was going lower and lower each and every day. Realizing that I was getting nowhere with talking to people online, it really frustrated me. So when I realized that popularity at school wasn't really what I wanted, it was because I was addicted to social media. More than I cared about being popular at school, I cared about being popular online. But now I realize that the smallest changes I've made in my life today have led to the person I am. But when my Instagram phase has eventually rolled around and I was really obsessed with Instagram at one point of my life, I was being someone that I could never imagine to be. Looking at media in general and the whole idea of perfection and body image, it was as though it was like a disease that was through my body. I felt like someone was telling me to be perfect and someone was telling me to look perfect. But in reality, it wasn't just someone telling me to be and look perfect, it was society. Society was pushing me back from who I was as a person. And growing up, I was in society's path and listening to the negative influences that came across me. I never stood up for myself and did something because I wanted to do them. I only did them because I thought I would be cool and popular online and offline. Now, going back to my Instagram phase, I was really discouraged by the number of followers I had on my account. Seeing students from my school have 400 followers or 300 likes, it really discouraged me. I was constantly checking my phone and see how many likes I got on my image and who liked my image. Or if some of my friends posted a really nice picture of themselves, I would constantly be checking how many likes they have on their image and who commented on their image and etc. And the questions I asked myself at that point were, why are they so much more popular than me? Why do they have so many likes and I don't? Am I really that ugly? This was where I was very conscious about how I looked. And from then, I realized that whatever I posted online must be the most gorgeous image of myself in order to gain more likes. Putting makeup on to perfect my images, or straightening or curling my hair to look cute, or even going out with my parents and forcing them to buy me things because other people had them. At this point of time, I wasn't just affecting my health and my mental well-being, but I was also affecting my parents and my best friends. Now, for my research on the effect of social media, I have surveyed over 200 people in my community and at my school about their opinions on social media. When I asked females my age this question, is social media a competition on how many likes, followers, or friends you have, 96% of females have said yes. When I asked males this question, 72% of males have said yes. This really surprised me how different opinions can be based on gender, and in this case, far more females were affected by social media. Now, it still hasn't come to the time where my obsession let go of me and I started to rebuild my self-esteem. I still did things so people can see. Well, now you might be wondering how I learned from my mistakes and got through the obsession of social media and started to rebuild my self-esteem. Well, here was the turning point of my life. A couple summers ago when I was in India, I didn't have Wi-Fi. And the fact that I didn't have Wi-Fi really, really frustrated me because I couldn't use any of my social media accounts at all. I didn't know what people were doing with their life. And first of all, I couldn't compare myself with other people online and set unrealistic goals for myself. And eventually, during my vacation, it came to this point where there was this one whole week where I couldn't even use my phone at all. Because first of all, there was no internet access, and second of all, there was really nothing entertaining on my phone that I could use. And after that 1 week, it was so unbelievable how much not using my phone for that 1 week has changed my life. During that week, I spent more time with my family and realized and focused on what I was doing and focused on the moment now. I didn't know what people were doing online, and I didn't compare myself with them. And like I've said before, I wasn't setting unrealistic goals for myself, looking at images online. Social media has affected me for over 5 years to cause me to be such a fake person. But staying away from it all for 1 whole week changed my life. But who I was in the past doesn't define who I am today. But who I am today will define who I will be in the future. Just like I have in the past, many teenagers and even adults today go through what I've been through. Many people take society's words and leave their self behind. They forget about the whole future they have in front of them, and they focus on the negativity now. And recently, I've seen a YouTuber vlogging about why I don't feel beautiful. And one quote that she has said in her YouTube video about how she had an eating disorder and she wanted to lose weight was that, I wasn't doing these things to make me happy. I was doing these things so people thought I was beautiful. The question I want you to think about for a minute is, why do most people put themselves down because someone has said to? Is it worth it in life to focus on what others want you to do? Because I have changed myself, I've made many accomplishments in my life. Many accomplishments in my life. In grade 8, I was involved in a student leadership council at school, where we took in charge of the school and we run events for the whole entire school. I taught a whole grade 6 class a Bollywood dance for their Bollywood dance unit and choreographed it myself and performed it in front of the whole school. I've performed a rant in front of the whole school about that I am a girl. I've also organized a community night event at my school and run the whole event. I've started a new club at my school called a Dance and Fitness Club in grade 8, which still runs today. And most importantly, when it came to time to the graduation in grade 8, I've earned the Ontario's Principal's Award from my principal. From that day, I kept on pushing myself forward and knowing that I'm making a difference in my life. When I got to high school, I took a course of my interest called Hairstyling and Aesthetics. And I earned an award in that course for top academic achievement and great attitude. Also in grade 9, I've got accepted to be a part of Athletic Council, and I still hold that position today as an executive member. And also in grade 10, which was this year, I got accepted to be in Global Action Council, where we learn about the world and we take action for different parts of the world. And in this council, I hold an executive position as well as a social engagement coordinator. Along with school, Indian classical dancing, Bharatanatyam, has been one of my passions for over 9 years. And after some many dance experiences in my school and around my community, last summer I got an opportunity to be a part of a competition and take part of that competition, and I got first place award in that competition. And all of these achievements wouldn't have been possible if I didn't start to make a positive change in my life and started to take action. Now, when I think back to school and social media, people change so much about themselves to get attention from others. Now, something I don't understand is, why do you want to risk your life for society's negative influence? If you don't believe in yourself and if you're not happy with who you are and the way you looked, that's when you know that you're doing something wrong with your life, and that's when you know that you need to change. When I realized that social media was the cost to the fake me, I forced myself and went out and tried new things. I took courses at school for my interest, and I make the most out of every single course and every single moment of my life. I know that I've made the right decisions by doing so because I love what I do now. I'm doing things that I'm interested in, and I'm so proud and happy about that. And after all, I realized that our attitude towards life is life's attitude towards us. And based on my experiences in life, people will put you down because they feel happy when they rise up. Not everyone will do that, but some people do. Not everyone will like you in your life, and you should be accepting about that because the only person you will have to like at the end of the day is yourself. If you don't trust yourself and who you actually are, then who will? I have excluded some of my best friends because of the decisions I've made, and there were days when I ignored my family as well. But at the end of the day, I realized that if you are improving from who you were yesterday, you are winning in life. Right now, I know that I've grown up with some tough experiences, and those tough experiences have made me believe in myself because I know that the decisions I make are the decisions that I want to make. And for sure, I will make mistakes in the future, and even now. But those mistakes will be the ones that will define me and define who I actually am. Well, I hope that my talk today has inspired you to motivated you to be yourself in this tough society. But before I end my talk, I want to end off with a question for you to think about. Are you someone that you were meant to be, or are you a person that society wanted you to be? Thank you.